Hello everyone, Dr. Victoria Scarbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. It's time for Taroscopes again, and we're doing the Taroscope for the sign of Taurus for the month of July 2022, and this is for Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising, maybe North Node in Taurus. Well, whatever. Maybe you know somebody's a Taurus and you're curious about their life. So these are, psychic readings, and you always have free will. So this does not have to apply to you. But what I will do is we're going to look a little bit about the astrology first. Just off the top of my head, we do have the sun in Cancer. And for you guys, this is your second house of Cancer. It's your third house of siblings and the neighborhood and the like. And so this is a time when you might find yourself doing more neighborly things, reaching out to neighbors, maybe having barbecues with neighbors, being friendly with neighbors. This is a good time for that this month for you. We do have, of course, Uranus still moving through your sign. So nothing is guaranteed. That's something that you don't really necessarily feel comfortable with, but this has been a real journey of coming out of your comfort zone in ways that maybe you never thought you could, or that you never thought you would. So many Tauruses are being freed. Their sort of inner self is coming out in ways that they might not have expected to happen, and some learning through extremes. We do have a full moon in Capricorn with the sun in Cancer, so that activates your axis of Cancer, Capricorn, your ninth house and your third house, which is the house of the mind. So there can be some illumination around things that you've been thinking about, like suddenly like light shines on marble head kind of feeling. We also have Mercury and the sun making oppositions to Pluto, which is also that axis for you. So a lot of maybe realizations coming forward for you. Okay, so let's take a look at the cards. I was inspired to use my Tarot of Transformation, which is a deck I've had for years and years and years. When I used to do fairs and read cards, I would sometimes read with these cards. So they have a lot of juju in them. I felt like Taurus needed it. This is very much a deck inspired by the process of transformation and the healing that comes from that. And I feel like Tauruses need that. You kind of need somewhat of a balm, B-A-L-M instead of B-O-M-B, which is kind of what Taurus has been going through since actually Uranus moved into Taurus. But I think it's, in a way, maybe the hardest part. Let's see, the first decan is Venus. So when things were going through the first 10 degrees of Taurus, Venus was more, it was Venus and Venus sort of energy that was getting activated. And now it's Mercury. So it's more of a mind thing now than it is an actual physical thing. So I think it's less painful for Taurus, right? And then it is going to move into Saturn when it gets into its last decade, and that's really, I think, when the structural change happens. But right now, it's about like highlighting the mind and the possibilities for solutions, to some big problems, including climate change. I think, is a good time for that, and I think it's happening. It's just not happening in. Maybe it's not happening as much as it should, but it is happening all the same. but I don't think we're seeing a lot of it because there's so many other things that have our attention. I can't believe that Trump is the center of our attention again. I just don't. I know the January 6th Commission. I know what they're trying to do, but I hate the idea that he's getting all this attention. Okay, so I'm sorry about that. This is Taurus's reading. I apologize for bringing up Trump, although he does have his MC in Taurus, so his public standing is going through quite the transformation as Uranus moves through Taurus. So there's something that you are ignoring. There is something that you need to attend to that you don't want to. You're stubbornly turning your back on it. It's an emotional issue. It's an emotional issue. It could be an issue around mother. It just says that you're not looking, maybe where you're not looking to the core of the matter, perhaps. Maybe you need to be a little bit more looking to the core of something. Let's see what's challenging that. We have the Server of Cups here. It is a card of attending to emotional needs. There's something that you're not willing to look at. There's something, it's a deeply emotional thing, and you don't want to look there, even though you probably really do need to. But let's continue and see if that's the case. Let's see what's at the root of this. Inner seeing, Six of Wands. There may be something that you're seeing with your intuition that your emotions just don't want to let you see. You're not ready to go through the pain of that, maybe. It's too big. And because you're not maybe asking for help, and you're so self-reliant in a lot of ways that you're not allowing yourself, you don't want to look at it because it's so big, and yet you don't want to get help because you want to be self-reliant. But you're seeing something. Let's see what's in the past. What do we see? We have the Strength card. This speaks of coming from the core. This is an 11 card. So this is, in this deck, it's sort of a combination of that Justice energy and also the Strength energy. Sort of like Libra and Leo in a way. It's about rising from so what has happened is this is Uranus and Taurus. Your fire has been, when Uranus moved into Taurus, Kilauea exploded. And then the second time it went in, there was another volcano, and there are volcanoes that are very, very active. Etna is very, very active. Tonga, we just had an earthquake in Afghanistan. The power of the feminine, the power of the earth energy is coming up and rising up. You can see here that it's sort of rising from her lower chakras up. This is the rising of the Kundalini force. And so you've had an experience where that has risen and the power has risen up. And now you're like, it's in a way so overwhelming, and then also maybe you're dealing with, the pain and suffering is just too much pain and suffering in the outer world, and it's just too much for you to take in because your psychic sense has been opened up. In the sky, we have healing and temperance. So this both offers healing energy, but also warns against going to any kind of extreme. So this really is asking you to temper your actions, one step at a time, which is a very Taurus thing anyway. But you have to be in the center of things here. You have to be in the center of things. You have to understand that you're going through a spiritual initiation. And I think the price of that initiation may be having to really look at your emotional shit. In the immediate future, we have the Four of Cups here. In this deck, it's about taking off the mask and allowing yourself to be your authentic self. It's about taking off the mask and shining. It's interesting that these two cards, the images are so similar. This is about seeing maybe clearly, maybe for the first time. And then this is about allowing yourself to shine your light without the mask of what people expect of you. You know, Taurus is a very loyal sign. It's a very stable sign. And people get used to you in a way because you're so consistent, persistent, stalwart. And you can be taken for granted in that way. And sometimes you need to, show them a different side of yourself, or allow yourself a different side of yourself. Perhaps that's what I'm saying. How it's seen from the outside. You're seen as somebody that you're very dependable. You're very dependable. Let's see your domestic situation. Okay, so we have movement in your domestic situation. You might even be moving, but things are moving. So if you're not moving yourself, the energy in your home is moving. And so things are changing and moving, but it's directed change. It's not change coming out of nowhere and the rug getting pulled out from under you. It's you directing the change. Hopes and fears. Drama queen, well, my feeling is that it's not your hope or your fear. I feel almost like that hopes and fears card is the people who know you. They're worried about you, that you're overreacting to something maybe, or they're worried about you, or they just think you're just trying to get attention, right? That's what that card feels like to me in that spot, which is weird because that's not usually what it means in that spot. And then the outcome is the Ace of Pentacles, which is new opportunities, new creations, new birth. Something real it has the potential to be born. The Ace of Discs is the potential of manifestation, but it's not the work that it takes to get there. So it's sort of like, the egg is fragile, right? You have to put it in a nest and make sure you incubate it. But there's great potential for great growth. So it doesn't guarantee that, but it's there for you if you want to take it. And I'm just seeing if I can pull a major arcana. I cannot. And so we have underneath it, we have the Nine of Swords. In this deck, it's about a trust walk. It's about moving forward even though you can't see the end. Taurus is really like guarantees, and this is walking through life without any guarantees that what the next step is going to bring. It's also an introspective energy. We have the labyrinth here. So each step, when you don't know where you're going, each step that you actually end up taking is a step towards yourself, to who you are at the core, who you are without the mask on. Who you are without the mask on. The Wheel of Fortune, which is change. And the Teacher of Discs, which is about somebody who knows the laws of manifestation, and you certainly do. And so you can manifest whatever it is. You will always have your needs met, Taurus, always. All right, awesome. So we'll do an oracle card too. And I think I'm going to use I've been using the Goddess Oracle. I feel like Taurus needs to hear from the wheel, the spirit of the wheel. So let me pull that out without knocking all my cards over. So this is sort of a little message for Taurus. Taurus rising, Taurus sun, Taurus moon for July. So what message do you have for Taurus in July? I don't know, can you hear the birds? That was a song sparrow, I think. So I think one of the messages is sing your song, Taurus. Tauruses often have beautiful voices. Taurus rules your voice, your this part of your body. People with Venus and Taurus often have beautiful voices. Mercury and Taurus, another one. Okay. Opportunity, acceptance, and gateway. So the last card spoke of that, the Ace of Pentacles. But I will read this to you. These are beautiful. These definitely worth reading out of the book because they're so beautifully written. And we'll just hold that. And of course, we have horses here, which is power, right? So let me just make sure I'm on the right. And yes, standing at the gateway to a new cycle within your life, you are frozen by the fear of what lies ahead. So that could be the cups, that overcoming emotion is a feeling of fear, maybe a feeling of fear. Although fear is generally, well, no, there's definitely fear that you fear gut, and that's kind of the fear of really that transformational process that you're going through, right? Fear of what lies ahead. In the past, you have dealt with some of your fears and began to process, recognizing your own self-worth. Now, a great opportunity for a new beginning awaits you. Bring unity back into your life so you can move beyond your fears and focus on your future goals. You have reached a truly significant stage in your life. Prepare yourself by nurturing the growth that is occurring within you. Start by forgiving yourself and understanding that all our experiences make us stronger. Growth is about taking responsibility for your life and moving beyond your fears and limitations to a greater sense of self. Accepting our innate abilities and our potential as gifts from Great Spirit helps us realize that our fears are really only attachments of our ego, not our true self. When we then begin to use our talents to become of greater service to the world. So this opportunity is really an opportunity for you to even be a better citizen than you already are, and bigger, and you can share your values and your sense of what is truly important, by being willing to be out there and take the risk, right, and do it. Your prayer is, I stand at the gateway to a new phase of my life. Please help me, Creator, to recognize and nurture my talents, to move beyond any ego attachments. That's a catbird you're hearing. To a place of solitude that comes from accepting my own true self-worth, which is what Taurus is all about, your true self-worth. It's a beautiful thing. All right, guys. Have yourself a wonderful month. Like and subscribe if you would, so that these can get out there. If you know a Capricorn who might like to hear this, or might want to hear this, or might need to hear this, send it to them, right? They're reasonable. They take help when they need it, you know. So you can contact me if you'd like a reading. My website's below. There's a link in the descriptor. The website is theseedsoftransformation.com. And I'll see you again next month for the Taroscopes of August 2022 for the sign of Taurus. Much love. Love you guys. Namaste.